Assalamualaikum, it's nice to see you again. I'm Ras Adiba Radzi and these are tonight's top stories. Search intensifies to locate 12 orang Asli graves. Baby Ainul's tumour successfully removed. And overnight massacre leaves scores dead and missing in Mali. Good evening. In the courthouse, Tan Sri Ismi Ismail, the former board member of SRC International Sdn Bhd, today said SRC resources came from the Retirement Fund Incorporated (QAP) and a launching grant from the government. Tan Sri Ismi said the company received a 4 billion ringgit loan from QAP and a grant of 20 million ringgit from the Malaysian government as startup capital. The 39th witness, who was also a former One Malaysia Development Berhad non-executive director, disclosed this during the examination-in-chief by Deputy Public Prosecutor Datuk Ishak Muhammad Yusof on the 22nd day of Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak's trial. Tan Sri Ismi also said the 4 billion ringgit loan was used for investment and working capital, adding that Datuk Sri Najib was the emeritus SRC advisor, someone who would have control over the administrative aspects of the SRC board and company. The former Prime Minister is being charged with 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, 1 count of abusing his position, and 3 counts of money laundering involving SRC international funds amounting to 42 million ringgit. The hearing before High Court Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali continues. 2 business partners face a jail sentence of up to 10 years or a fine of not more than 50 million ringgit or both for receiving deposit money illegally from the public in 2015 and 2016. The duo pleaded not guilty at the Alo Star Sessions Court today before Sessions Court Judge Sharifah Norazlita Said Salim Aidid. The accused 61-year-old Ui Kui Lam and Loh Kim Yong, aged 62, are being charged with 2 counts of receiving illegal deposits at Alliance Bank on Jalan Stadium. The court allowed Ui and Loh bail at 8,000 ringgit each with 1 guarantor and set July 2nd for re-mention of their case and to surrender court documents. The police in Kemaman are looking for a woman who has allegedly been using fake 100 ringgit bills for purchases. According to District Police Chief DSP Muhammad Haki Azbullah, most of the traders who were conned were those conducting businesses on the roadside and did not have banknote verification devices. Facebook posts about this unidentified woman in Kemaman has gone viral on Facebook since yesterday. Traders have claimed that they were visited by a female customer in a Toyota Vios car who used fake 100 ringgit notes to buy fried chicken and crackers. Another trader, upon realizing he had been duped, had even chased the woman by car up to Kijal but failed to corner her. The police are taking the case of counterfeit money seriously and are urging anyone with information to come forward to assist in the investigation. Traders have also been advised to launch a police report if they believe they have been a victim of the con job. Meanwhile, a man in his 20s strangling a chicken in a video that has gone viral since Saturday is now wanted by the police. The incident was believed to have taken place in Dungun, Terengganu. In the 13-second video, the man is seen surrounded by a few men believed to be his friends while he chokes the rooster. The Terengganu Veterinary Services Department has condemned the act and are conducting an investigation.
Kita tengok budaya sekarang ini, setiap apa perkara yang dilakukan selalu ditularkan ke dalam media massa sehingga mereka membuat akting-akting tertentu melibatkan binatang-binatang untuk mendapat sambutan ataupun mendapat komen yang memberangsangkan di media massa dan akhirnya mereka tidak mengetahui bahawa sebenarnya perbuatan mereka itu adalah salah dan boleh diambil tindakan.
He added that their actions are viewed seriously and is irresponsible even though it was done as a joke. Dr. Muhammad Tarmizi is advising the public to be kind to animals even if they are livestock. If found guilty of animal cruelty, one can be fined up to 20,000 ringgit or sentenced to up to 3 years in jail. A 35-year-old man was arrested following the discovery of his girlfriend's body in Setia Indah, Johor Bahru. His friend, a 32-year-old man, was also picked up to assist in the murder probe. State Police Deputy Chief Datuk Muhammad Kamaruddin Muhammadin said the prime suspect had admitted to the murder and later took police to the location where he had dumped the body. Police believe jealousy was the motive behind the murder. A preliminary investigation found that the woman was attacked and hit with a rubber hose while having a shower. Her body was then covered with plastic sheet before being stored inside a box and dumped by the roadside at an industrial area in Taman Setia Indah. She was last seen leaving her Taman Sri Putri home in Skudai on May 28th. Both suspects are being remanded and the case is being investigated for murder. The threat of the Abu Sayyaf group on islands in eastern Sabah is still high despite the establishment of the Eastern Sabah Security Command ESCOM. Inspector General of Police Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid Badu said attacks by the group can happen any day at any time. As such, he said ESCOM will be restructured on the placement of security forces involving the Malaysian Armed Forces MAF, police as well as the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA.
The restructuring, among others, will involve the structure of security in the areas and the change of security posts which have been taken over by the police and the MAF. In an interview with Bernama at Bukit Aman, the police chief said the restructuring process is being carried out via the National Security Council (NSC) to strengthen ESCOM further. The Abu Sayyaf group is believed to be based in Jolo Sulu, which is near the Philippines and would only take about 15 minutes by speedboat to reach Philippine waters. Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid suspects this is why the threat of the terror group on Sabah is still high. According to him, the Philippines government had earlier created an overall security control on Jolo Islands near Kuna as well as Lahat Datu Sabah. Nonetheless, ESCOM needs to be on the alert on any threats when conducting operations.
Ainul Mardiah Ahmad Saifuddin, the 9-month-old baby girl with the germ cell tumour, was successfully operated on Monday at a children's hospital in London. The large tumour, which grew in the baby's mouth and inside her neck, weighing about 200 grams, was removed by a team of surgeons and anaesthetists led by Professor David Danube, consultant plastic and reconstructive surgeon and head of the craniofacial unit of the hospital. Ainul Mardiah was admitted to the hospital upon her arrival from Malaysia 17 days ago. Media Prima representative Haliza Hashim, who was at the hospital with the girl's parents, reports from London.
Dr. Juling Ong, a craniofacial and pediatric plastic surgeon, was one of the 4 specialists who operated on Ainul Mardiah. He said the mission, carefully planned and approached, was completed in over 5 hours.
I think the operation went very well. It went probably better than planned. The tumour came out as expected. We went with the approach there was not too much bleeding, and thankfully she was nice and stable throughout the operation. She had a massive tumour, and I think we always have to respect this. Tumors it's a big operation, so you always take each case as it comes. I'm just pleased that the operation went quite smoothly, and that so far everything's looking quite good.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
According to Dr. Ong, who hails from Penang, there were cancerous and non-cancerous components of the tumour. He added that Ainul Mardiah needs to be kept comfortable in the pediatric intensive care unit to recover and to let the wounds heal. The hospital will reassess her condition over the next few weeks to see if there are any signs of recurrence. He also paid tribute to Dr. Nur Amalina Cik Bakri, a Malaysian surgeon whose initiative made it possible for Ainul Mardia and her parents to be flown to London for the treatment. Dr. Nur Amalina, who broke the news about the successful operation, was present throughout the surgery.
Sangat teruja, terharu juga sebab dapat menyertai pasukan bedah yang terdiri daripada pelbagai bidang spesialis, daripada bahagian ENT, head and neck, plastic and craniofacial surgery. Sebab ini adalah pembedahan yang sangat berisiko tinggi, jadi perlu mendapat kerjasama daripada spesialis daripada pelbagai bidang.
Crying with happiness, Ainul Mardia's parents, Ahmad Safiuddin Ahmad Raza and Nurul Irwani Zaidi, both 24, visited their baby after the operation. Thanking generous Malaysians for their donations, they requested everyone to continue to pray for Ainul Mardia's well-being. Ainul Mardia, accompanied by her parents, arrived at this children's hospital on May 25th after receiving tremendous support from Malaysians back home and in the UK. Halisa Hashim, London.
Alhamdulillah. Coming up, Twitter Jaya Citizen sparks a new movement for Aidilfitri. Details next. I'm Ras Adiba Radzi. You're still with us on 7Edition. Let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. There is no denying that receiving a money packet or duit raya will always light up someone's face, no matter their age. Now, that is why Twitter user Amin Jamian kicked off the hashtag Duit Raya movement with his tweet on Friday, where he gives duit raya packets to staff he encounters during the festive period. Take a look.
According to M-Star, the 31-year-old, whose full name is Nurul Amin Mat Jamian, has been doing this for over 9 years. The tweet inspired many netizens to do the same for the staff they encountered during Aidilfitri, such as petrol pump attendants and drive-through operators. Meanwhile, another netizen shared her experience of being on the receiving end of a stranger's kindness. Mira, who once decided to treat a scoop of ice cream for a cranky child, ended up receiving a raya money packet from the child's parents instead.
Time for my Game On with updates on E3 French video game. Titan Ubisoft on Monday unveiled a new subscription service as it taps into the industry trend toward streaming games. Uplay Plus, which will launch on September 3rd, will let players access Ubisoft's library of games on Windows-powered personal computers. Ubisoft says the service will provide more freedom for players by making it even easier to access the extensive catalogue.
Uplay Plus is designed similarly to Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass and EA's Origin Access for PC and EA Access for console. Ubisoft has a history of boldly embracing new styles of play and gaming devices and was an early partner with Google while the California-based technology giant was developing Stadia.
I think it's the trend in the entertainment industry, and it's another option for players who value access to a broad amount of content versus ownership.
This new announcement means that in 2020, the publisher will add over 100 PC games to Google's streaming service. And the promise of Uplay Plus on Stadia is a huge one for Google. For $14.99 a month, Stadia subscribers can add over 100 games that can be played on their big screen TV, PC desktop or laptop, tablet, and Pixel 3 and Pixel 3a smartphones. But the biggest key to this new partnership is that gamers who don't have a powerful enough PC to play the games in Uplay Plus will be able to do so with Google Stadia if the cloud streaming platform performs as advertised.
Good news for KL monorail commuters as 3 trains with 4 coaches will start operating in August. Transport Minister Anthony Loke says passengers have been complaining about overcrowding in the current 6 train sets that only have 2 coaches, which can only carry 214 passengers per service. An additional 2 trains will also start operations in November to increase ridership from 31,000 to 70,000 passengers daily. The minister made the announcement at a surprise visit to the monorail depot. The new trains are results of a procurement and restoration contract Prasarana Malaysia's Berhad and Skomi Transit Projects in Berhad signed with KL Monorail last April. Police have intensified the search to locate the graves of 12 orang Asli from the Batik tribe who died in the jungle near Kampung Kuala-Koh, Gua Musang, Kelantan. A police team combed the jungle area where the bodies were believed to have been buried in the past month. The operation involved 30 members of the General Operation Force and policemen from Gua Musang Police Headquarters. The graves of the orang Asli who died due to unknown causes over the past month will require some time to be located as they are unmarked and far from the Kampung Kuala-Koh Orang Asli settlement. Authorities are attempting to locate the graves in order to exhume the 12 bodies for post-mortem to determine the actual cause of death. However, families of the deceased have informed police that the bodies were buried deep in the jungle and may be difficult to trace. The Orang Asli community are well known to be a strong and resilient group of indigenous people who can withstand any threat from the environment. However, our investigation today at Kampung Kuala-Koh in Gua Musang, Kelantan reveals that their living conditions can be very difficult, which in turn leaves them at a high risk for infections or diseases. Our reporter, Wan Izul Islam, has the story.
Village that houses 185 Orang Asli from 39 families that have been struck by a sudden and mysterious virus. Now, as you can see behind me, up the hill we have the houses of all the inhabitants, which we'll be visiting in a minute. Now, to my right, we have a temporary clinic that has been set up by the Health Ministry to help check up on the villagers here. Some of the tests that they are conducting includes that of blood tests, as well as temperature and blood pressure. Among the villagers include the young, the old, the sick and the healthy. Now, let's head up the hill to go see how the situation is like for the villagers in Kampung Kuala-Koh.
Our journey to the top of the hill where the Orang Asli community live was very difficult. Only 4-wheel drive vehicles could climb their way to the summit, located 2 kilometers from the main road of the village. You would still need to enter the jungle by foot for at least another kilometer before reaching the makeshift shelters inhabited by the Orang Asli community. Along with the Hazardous Materials Unit or HAZMAT team from the Fire and Rescue Department, we were allowed to enter the area to investigate and see for ourselves the living conditions of the Orang Asli. The camps that were built by the Orang Asli were in bad shape and had no basic necessities such as clean running water or protection from the elements. While we were inspecting the nearby settlements, the HAZMAT team conducted their own investigations of the surrounding area, whilst also taking samples and specimens of the water and soil near the campsite. It is believed that the nearby stream from the river was used by the Orang Asli community and could possibly be the cause of infection. However, all the relevant agencies, including the Health Ministry and Bomba, that we tried contacting, have said they cannot confirm the cause of the infection yet.
As you can see from my shortness of breath, as well as the muddy and slippery ground in front of me. This is one of the ways to reach that of the settlements for the Orang Asli here in Kampung Kuala Ko in Gua Musang, Kelantan. This is one of the main water streams that leads from one of the rivers to that of the settlements, which the family uses for their livelihoods. The main water supply could be in some way or another infected by some pathogen. We do not know yet, it's uncertain, but we cannot take the risk. So carefully, I will cross this river without trying to fall into it.
Kalau dia macam tu puncak air, kita akan minta lah. Macam projek dia apa, macam air kita, macam rumah kita, macam tika kita apa semua lah. Macam ni lah untuk bekas-bekas makanan selalu kita akan buang yang untuk lama, kita pakai yang untuk baru lah.
Although the source of infection has yet to be determined, many of the Orang Asli believe that traditional medicine will help cure them from the disease. Those who have been examined by doctors at the nearby health clinic, as well as given medications such as vitamins and painkillers, still believe that the jungle will help protect them.
Bagi ubat nado apa semua ni, tapi dia tak sihat juga. Ha. Nado apa ubat ni? Jadi ubat vitamin tapi tak sihat juga.
Oh, kenapa you rasa tidak sihat?
Ha?
Kenapa you rasa tak sihat juga?
Mungkin ubat dalam hutan jugalah.
Mesti cari ubat di dalam hutan.
Ha.
Oh. Apa yang seperti ubat yang di dalam hutan yang mereka guna?
Adalah ada kayu dan sebagai ada punca dalam bukit lah adalah. Cincang ke kayu ubat tu.
Abang rasa ubat yang di dalam hutan ini lebih baik daripada ubat yang diberi oleh klinik?
Mungkin ubat yang di dalam hutan juga. Mungkin okey.
Lebih baik lah.
Ha.
Lebih baik.
One is Islam, 7Edition. One is Islam.
The contest to succeed UK Prime Minister Theresa May as Britain's next leader heated up on Monday. The contest to succeed UK Prime Minister Theresa May as Britain's next leader heated up on Monday as the 10 final candidates for the Tory leadership race have been confirmed. This as May failed to deliver Brexit on the original timetable, slating Britain to leave the bloc on October 31st under the latest extension agreed with the European Union. The 10 Conservative MPs in the contest include former Foreign Minister Boris Johnson, his successor Jeremy Hunt, Environment Minister Michael Gove, former Brexit Minister Dominic Raab, Health Minister Matt Hancock and Interior Minister Sajid Javid. The other candidates are International Development Minister Rory Stewart, former Minister Esther McVeigh, former Leader of the House of Commons Andrea Leadsom, and Conservative lawmaker Mark Harper. The first round of voting among Conservative lawmakers will take place on Thursday, where they will begin whittling down the field to 2 candidates, who will then be put to a vote of party members. May officially stepped down as the party's leader on Friday, but remains Premier until her replacement is chosen, likely in late July. And whoever it is will automatically enter Downing Street.
With my constituent in Maidenhead, moderate and patriotic Conservative government.
Authorities said on Monday that nearly 100 people were killed in a gruesome overnight attack on a village in central Mali in the latest violence to strike the fragile region. Local officials in Kundu district, where the Soban Ku village was attacked, reported 95 people killed, their bodies burned, and others were still missing. The government, giving a provisional toll, said 95 people had been killed, 19 were missing, numerous farm animals had been slaughtered, and homes had been torched it said in a statement. A survivor said about 50 heavily armed men arrived on motorbikes and pickups, where they first surrounded the village before launching their gruesome attack, killing anyone who tried to escape. There was no immediate claim of responsibility, but the massacre targeting a village inhabited by the Dogon community bore the hallmarks of tit-for-tat ethnic attacks that have claimed hundreds of lives. It came less than 3 months after nearly 160 members of the Fulani ethnic group were slaughtered by the Dogon. Over in Hungary, 4 more bodies were recovered by local police on Tuesday as they lifted a sightseeing boat that sank in the Danube River in the capital last month. The accident has claimed at least 24 lives. The 4 bodies recovered have not been formally identified, but they are believed to be those of the boat's Hungarian captain and 3 South Koreans, including a 6-year-old girl who is the only child to die in the accident. 4 more people are still missing about 2 weeks after the tragedy, the worst such incident in the country in 75 years. It took the salvage crew about 6 hours to hoist the Mermaid tourist boat almost entirely out of the water. The Mermaid was carrying mostly South Korean holidaymakers when it capsized and sank on the evening of May 29th, just seconds after colliding with a bigger river cruise boat on a busy stretch of the river. Only 7 of the 35 people on board are known to have survived.